Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of Noir Syndrome. This is a game by Glass Knuckle Studios in which we play a detective. It's a little bit of a roguelite who's collecting clues to figure out who the perpetrator is in a randomly generated map over and over and over again. I've been playing this game for a couple hours over the last couple days, and it landed on my desk, and I was really kind of surprised at how good this game actually was. There's nothing else like it on the market right now. It's sort of like playing Clue, but a little bit better. So the basic premise of the game is that you walk around as a detective. You go to various locations in the city based on certain prompts, like for example, there may be a crime scene here, a murder there, a public gathering here or there. You collect clues, you collect perpetrators and suspects, and eventually at the end of the game you should have enough information left to finger one of your suspects and put them into prison. And you'll forgive my promiscuous wording right there, but I'm going to use that as many times as possible because it's 1910 and it's perfectly okay to use the word fingering. So let's get started with a new game. Alright, and so the game is controlled fairly simply. This is going to be case files number 1. I'm going to try and do one series of cases for each episode. And we're probably going to do 4 or 5 episodes. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in this game, but I'm interested. Therefore, it's getting recorded. Let's say hello to Jasper, our kitty friend. Jasper, keeping the place a little less lonely. I'm going to talk like a detective pretty frequently. Hey, we found $15 in our cabinet. Alright. Our bed is hard as a rock. We probably shouldn't get it so excited. Our desk, nothing to be found but a mess of unsolved cases. Let's head outside into the cold city night. Alright, and so this is the way that we're going to be navigating the city for the remainder of the game. Assembled here are a bunch of different locations that we can visit. Every single one of them will have nodes that we can search. Each of the nodes is randomly assigned, so every single game, the suspects, the little pieces of evidence, basically everything you need to find are going to be at different spots every single time you play the game, and the game's going to slightly lead you along with just random series of events like murders, crime scenes, and things like that. Now, by no means is the game obligated to help you complete the game. Sometimes you end up on the final day with a bunch of clues, and they all point to like 10 different people, and you're just going to have to pick somebody based on the best information that you have, and you may get it wrong. An entire game plays in about 15 minutes, so this is a great game to play if you're on your lunch break. In fact, I think this game would do really, really well on mobile platforms, so that's something to consider for the developers. If you wanted to make a ton of money, I could see myself playing this on the iPhone or on a Droid or anything of that nature. Now, there are going to be different auras around some of the different buildings. For example, the old watchtower has a green aura right now, and it says that a public gathering is here. That means that every civilian is going to be present here, or at least a large majority of the civilians are going to be present here. This becomes helpful if you want to question a bunch of civilians, or if you need to arrest a civilian, there's going to be a good chance that they're here. Now, everybody in this game is subdivided into a couple of categories. First and foremost, are they male or are they female? Second, are they civilian, mob, or police? And then third, what is their hobby? And that's the 3 ways that they're sorted. And all of the clues will point to different aspects between those 3 different archetypes. And so you may get a clue that says that the person is a policeman or a civilian. You may get another clue that says 100% the person is a policeman. So then you can disregard the earlier clue and go with the more prevalent, or I guess the more accurate one that 100% says that they're a police officer. And so by process of elimination, by the end of the game, you should have a pretty good idea who the bad guy is. We're going to start our investigation in the slums because that seems like a good place to go. The slums, the most dangerous part of town. Let's have a look around. Search your trash can. You move around using the arrow keys, and you search with the Z key. Every time you search, it makes you a little bit more hungry. If you press the C key, it's going to take you to your notebook, which is going to have a number of different menus. Down here at the bottom, you can see that we have 15 cash, 3 bullets, 1 lockpick, 13 days until the game is over. We feel normal. This is where it'll say that we're hungry if we've been searching too much. And we've only got 1 set of clues, which are dress shoes, which indicate that the perpetrator is a civilian or a mobster. We have no suspects, though, so let's get to work. Let's start questioning people. Rose Hill says, rumor has it Gene Johnson has been up to some shady business, like using alliteration with reckless abandon. Okay, so Gene Johnson has been added to the list. There's nothing in the bathroom, so we go up to the top floor. We'll talk to this individual. James Moore says, rumor has it Mildred Brown has been up to some shady business. Seems like a lot of people here in the slums have word of shady business. Maybe you could help me along a little further, sir, in green shirt, in strange military attire. No, the green outfits that they're wearing indicate that they're civilians, in case you were wondering. The police officers should be in black outfits, mobsters will be in red outfits. Could pass for a dinner table around here. Nothing there, but there is a door here that's locked. We can trade one of our lockpicks if we wanted to get through it, and I am going to take that gamble because we need to get as much information in the early game as we possibly can. The door is open and we continue our search. Looks like we've got a bunch of mobsters and a bunch of civilians over here. William Brown is added to suspect. William Brown has a history of trouble. I'm going to talk to that blonde-haired lass in just a moment as well. Irene Jones says, I always thought Raymond Young was a shady character. People around here are kind of snitch-like. I don't know. Everybody's like, it was him. He's guilty. They don't have any evidence. They're like, take him away. He's guilty, officer. William Miller says, Anubis, the Egyptian god of death? Ominous. Searching the bathroom, we don't find anything in the old poop chute. However, we do find a gun holster in the trash. Alright, so it's something to go off of. Richard King has been added to suspects. It had to be Richard King, no doubt in my mind. Alright, so we walked away from this with a bunch of suspects, and so we've got about half our information filled out right now on the first day, which is why I usually try and start with the slums. The slums tend to be a very, very good place to start, and we're not even finished. We could even find more, conceivably, so let's talk to him. Thomas Young says, what does this city come to? Martha Green says, who did it? Frank Anderson. We all know by now. Nothing in this massive pile of ripped papers. I don't know why they're piling up ripped papers in the middle of the floor, but I don't judge. I put up piles of, clothing and everything else in the middle of the floor, so I suppose I can't judge. Let's be back on out to the cold city night. Alright. Nothing going on right now. There were no murders that are going to help us find crime scenes or anything of that nature. Let's go ahead and have a look at our clues before we go any further. We have 6 suspects already, which is not bad for the first day. We've got Gene Johnson, the poet, Mildred Brown, the chef, William Brown, the tailor, Raymond Young, the dancer, Richard King, the chef, Frank Anderson, the dancer. We've got clues that indicate that the individual is a civilian or a mobster, or a police officer or a mobster. So basically, as it stands right now, the suspect could be just about anybody. If you want to put the screws on somebody and you want to go arrest them right now, you'll come to this menu and you'll just click on somebody and they'll be lit up on your map and you'll go and arrest them. For right now, though, we don't have the information required to get the job done. So let's head back on out. I think I'm going to go to the church for now because there's a lot of nodes at the church. There's a mob gathering right here, but we have no indication that we need to talk to the mob right now or that we need anything from the mob, so we're going to leave them alone. Alright, let's get to searching. We feel hungry because we've been searching. We found a mob ID. Now the mob ID is going to indicate that 100% no matter what, the guy that we're looking for is mob related. He's mob affiliated, so that's good. That takes a load off of our minds. Richard King says everyone around here knows me. They can vouch for my innocence. We didn't find anything here. We found very, very little here aside from the mob ID, but that was one of the most important clues we could have possibly picked up, because now we know 100% who everybody is affiliated with. Richard Adams has been murdered, and he was murdered at the market where the masses go for their daily food and chatter. Crime scene here. Alright, well, it looks like we're going to market to catch ourselves a thief. Hopefully the produce section can produce us a suspect or at least a couple of clues. We found a little bit of money, a little bit more money. Dried and salted meats hung up on the wall, not giving us, we found sunglasses hung up with the meat. And leather gloves. This place is looking to be a smorgasbord of just amazing clues. We found a lockpick, which will help us get through a door later on. And a bunch more appetizing meats, although those don't really look like that. Looks like a banana, a fine selection of cantaloupes, and perhaps an orange, although they are labeled as meat with an exclamation point, with extra excitement added to inveigle your purchase, I suppose. Let's head back on out. We've done all we can right here, and let's have a look at what we've got going. So we know they're a mobster. We have leather gloves, which indicate that the perpetrator is a chef or a driver. Who on our list is a chef or a driver? Richard King. And so it's looking like Richard King right now is our guy. However, there are a couple things to keep in mind. We've only found half the clues, and we've only found a little over 60, or actually we found exactly 60% of the suspects. And so there could be another chef, or there could be a driver. You never know right now. And so for the moment, we can't really make any protestations of guilt towards anybody because, well, I guess assignments of guilt, that is, because we don't have enough information to roll on. I think for now, we're going to check the police station. Actually, how many lockpicks do I have? I have 1 lockpick, and we're hungry. Let's go to the diner. Get ourselves a little bit of dinner, have a look around, see what we can find. Found $12. Henry Moore says even the criminals seem to be afraid of this killer. We find female fingerprints. Okay, so now we know that it's a female mobster, 100%. So as I said before, I think, let me look at my clues, but I think the mobster we were looking at was a male. The driver, yeah. Richard, who was it? Mildred Brown. Never mind, it was a female. So we have a chef, a female chef mobster. And it looks like, Mildred Brown is a civilian. So it's somebody that we haven't uncovered yet, because we don't have any female mobsters right now. Alright. Well, let's step back on out and we'll see who we can talk to figure this thing out, but we need to find some more suspects, and if we can't find them, that's going to be curtains for our investigation, which is really, really bad because, you know, we're just setting the stage right now for the crime drama. Let's leave this location, and hopefully we'll be able to find ourselves... I'd like to find a gathering right about now. Let's go to the police station. There tend to be a lot of people there. Let's check all of these chairs. Nothing over here. Walter Williams has been added to the suspects. Walter Williams gives me the creeps. Keep your eyes peeled. However, he's male, so he's not really going to be that helpful of a culprit. Richard Miller. Somebody has to stop the killer. This lady right here will sell you bullets. Richard Lewis says he fears for his life while Walter Williams walks free. That's a lot of W's in one sentence. Walter Williams walks free while whistling. And I'd like to go down to the bottom floor because sometimes you can find stuff in the jail cells that can be of use. Let's have a little look here in the holding cells. Ah, casual attire. That's going to indicate a mobster or a civilian, so not really that helpful, but it's another thing to check off the list for now. Let's go ahead and bounce on out of here. We found ourselves another culprit, we found ourselves another clue, and so we're slowly filling out the information that we're going to need in order to make this whole thing work properly. We could go to a nondescript warehouse. That could be where the mobsters are at. We can go to an old hideout. I'm going to say that the City Hotel is probably a good call right now. How many days do we have left? 8 days left. Alright. Let's go to the City Hotel. See if we can find anybody who can elucidate the situation. Ameliorate some of the problems that we have. Lois Young has been added to our suspects. It had to be Lois Young. There's no doubt in my mind. We also found $3 in the cash till. Who would have thought? Fear seems to be gripping the population. We'll search the couch seats over here because we could use any extra cash. Martha Green added to suspects. Rumor has it Martha Green has been up to some shady business. Selling mixed drinks for $10. No thank you right now. I'm not looking to get myself sauced until we get the job done. If we get the job done, we will 100% get super, super drunk. But he's selling a cheese platter. We're hungry right now, so yeah, let's eat it. Got ourselves feeling normal so that we can continue searching and finding more clues. Nothing from those two people. I'm going to search the piano over here. Somehow even more grandiose than the one downstairs. Alright, well there might be somebody upstairs for us to search. Let's go ahead to the top floor and we'll see what we can find. Check these little end tables, but I doubt there'll be anything in them. Yep, we could use lock picks to either get into the top floor or to talk to this individual right here. Although let's take a look at our clues because I think we're fairly well filled out right now. We've only got one more person left, although there's a little bit of... Was it a chef or a driver that indicated? The leather gloves? Okay, so we've got a mobster female that wears leather gloves, so a mobster female chef or driver. We have no male... we have a male chef, so he's out. But we have Martha Green, who's a mobster female driver, hopefully. Ah, there she is. I think we're going to make the arrest. The sooner you make the arrest, the better your score is, and so you level up in this game. As you complete your objectives, this game has endless replayability because you level up in between. So based on your performance, you'll get badges, and as you get more and more badges, you'll get more and more high level, which means that you can make the game harder, and you can play with additional lockpicks, you can play with the starting money, extra bullets, whatever you need. But that means you can ramp up the difficulty so that there will be more clues, there will be more suspects, you'll have less time, but you'll have more resources to draw upon so as to kind of take a little bit of the stress off. Fixing our hat, we step on out into the night to make an arrest. She's at the police station already. Well, that makes our lives easy. Hopefully we're doing this right. Sometimes I feel like I've 100% got the culprit and I get it wrong. Martha Green, you're under arrest. Let's see how we did. Case closed. The suspect was arrested successfully. The law will take it from here. So we spent $23, $45 held, one person killed. Oh, okay, so that was one person. I thought they were talking about me. You can shoot anybody you want in this game, by the way. I could have walked up and shot Martha Green in the face, and that would have ended the game as well, I think. Although sometimes it doesn't, but yeah. My name is Splattercat, and this was Case Files number 1 for Noir Syndrome. We're probably going to be playing a couple more episodes because I find this game to be a lot of fun, and I would love to promote it here at the Nerd Castle. Leave your comments down below with who you thought the perpetrator was, or if you thought you got it before I did, and I will see you in Case Files number 2. Take care out there in the darkness, everybody.